are back, and this is League on Lock. Eric and Mark here, and we are counting down the top 10 players from the LCK spring split. We're into the top three. Top three, Mark. That means these players are not bad.
These are the best of the best from this year and this split.
The creme de la creme, the medal award winners. They're all getting medals. Let's start off with that bronze medal, and it's one of many dragons on this list. We are talking about Prey, the second half of the Prey and Gorilla bottom lane, who are widely considered as the best bot lane in not just the West, the world, because they're not from the West, just the best in the world. They have been for many splits, and one of the main reasons is Prey. This guy has been playing competitively since like Season 2, and he's always been a top tier AD carry. People thought he retired for a slight bit, then came back. This guy's amazing.
Yeah, and we're thankful that he got out of that retirement because he's graced us with some fantastic performances, and Prey is the dominating member of that 2v2 bot lane, killing machine Prey and Gorilla. Prey absolutely dominating his opponents in that 2v2, and that's what makes him so special. Other AD carries, when it's a 1v2 in other situations, that's where they're starting to pop off. Prey, you're 2v2 equal, I'm still gonna take you down. I'm that good, I'm that aggressive. Prey, I love what he brings out on the Rift, and he really had another dominating performance this split.
And just when all these other members of Kingzone are having crazy splits, Peanut and Con are dominating, I love that he reminds you in the finals on this Kaisei here that he's an absolute animal. Afrika decides not to ban it in any of their games, and he just completely clobbers them. He's a guy who, the minute you forget about him, he puts up these performances like this. I can't give him enough praise for how consistent he's been over his career, which, by the way, has stemmed a very long time, especially in the world of esports. And this guy deserves a world championship.
Yeah,
gotta get one.
The only other AD carry that you could ever really say is better than him or would contend with Prey in this type of ranking, you'd have to go all the way to China for Uzis. So Korea, only Prey, here you go.
Yeah, and there's a reason he's been on top tier Korean teams for so many years. It's because he's a top tier player. Another top tier player, maybe not last split. Last split, people were saying this guy's super overrated. Well, he leaves SKT, joins Kingzone, and look at Peanut. He is far and away the best jungler in the LCK, and he's coming in at number 2 on our list. This guy was an absolute animal in 2020.
Oh yeah, as cute as Peanut looks is how deadly he is out on the Rift. Peanut, a monster. I love the performances that he's been able to bring out for Kingzone, and especially the split after his struggles with SKT, where he had to learn a lot from Coma and certain other aspects to what he could bring to the jungler position, and it never quite brought up into what you wanted when he was with SKT, but on Kingzone, dominating performances, an absolute terror in the jungle, picking off people left, right, and center. Peanut was a dominating factor this split.
Yeah, and even when the majority of the split was a tank meta, he's busting out Kha'Zix, playing Nidalee, one-shotting people, and of course, he completely destroyed SKT's hopes and dreams with that Olaf, and really just destroyed them a couple of times. He clearly did not like the system where he was subbing in and out with blank in a lot of these games, even when he was struggling. He didn't like that 2-person jungle spot, even though it's Cuz did play some games. It was clearly Peanut is the starter on this squad, and he really thrived in that role. And when he's got these aggressive lanes like Khan and Gorilla and Prey in that bottom lane, he really thrived, and there was really no contest for him being the best jungler in the LCK this season, and that's why he's coming in at number 2.
And when you're thinking about heading to MSI, Kingzone Dragon X, it's definitely looking good for Peanut. You're going up against the guys like Xmithie and Broxa, who are definitely good junglers in their own right, but when you mention the name of Peanut, you're thinking of another level on top of them. This is a guy that last MSI had a Lee Sin game, picking up 15 or 17 kills on his own. Definitely going to be looking for more blood at MSI. Peanut, another fantastic split for him, finding himself at number 2 on our ranking.
Yeah, and that's the thing people kind of forget because of 2017 when there were struggles with him and SKT. 2017 spring, he was popping off, and SKT was a terrifying monster, and they showed that at MSI. So yeah, definitely interested to see him play in another international competition, and depending on who comes out of China, you know, it's going to be a very interesting matchup. for MSI. Let's go to number 1.
Hey,
number 1.
This is the guy.
The top spot. The king of the mountain. And it's so honestly fair that the king himself, King Khan, takes that crown because I don't know how you don't give it to this guy. He was far and away the most dominant player in the LCK in 2018. I saw so many games where he'd get first blooded early on or maybe die the first 2 deaths of the game, and then 10 minutes later he'd turn around and be 1v2ing.
Just an absolutely terrifying sight to see as the laner that you're going up against. Khan, the dominant performer here. Love everything that he's done this split, and so far in his career, he has shown that he has such a depth of understanding the masteries of these champions and what it takes to truly hard carry on all of them. And especially coming into a meta into MSI where the Conqueror rune is going to be powerful, and you're going to have champions like Renekton be back in there and everything else like that that's going to be using that Conqueror rune. Khan is going to be a dominating player at MSI. Watch out.
Yeah, and what always just I marvel at with this guy is you see him play a champion like Riven. You've never really seen him play. You're like, how good is he? It feels like he's mastered the champion. I don't know how much he's playing these different champions in solo queue, but I fully hope to see him bust something out in MSI that is just, you're like, what? He's never played that, never seen him play that. No one's playing that, and it'll look like he's been one-tricking that champion all the way up the ladder.
And then exactly on the same flip side, you're going to see his Jace, hopefully, if it doesn't get banned, who's such an incredible pick for him. But the thing is, when you look at that mastery that he has on that Jace and everything that you think about there, well, he has that mastery on champions that you're not expecting him to have in that top lane as well. And that is what truly makes Khan the king. And hey, everybody's got to bend the knee and bow down to him.
Well, that's what he's preaching to all the other top laners in the world, and deservedly so. So Khan comes in at number 1. We got to give a couple quick honorable mentions to a lot of the guys from Africa Freaks. None of them made that top 10, but it was just the magic that when you put all 5 of them together that really helped them get that second spot.
Absolutely. Definitely a strong roster with Africa Freaks. Tucson, Kuro, Mowgli, some strong performances from them for sure. Definitely worth some recommendation there.
Kramer and Kuro and Tucson definitely just on the outside looking in on this top 10 list. But Kingzone dominates. All 5 are on the top 10 list. And you can't really argue it with how fantastic a season they have, taking home the summer crown. That's all the time we have for today on this countdown. Eric and Mark here for League Unlocked. Thank you guys very much for watching.